Welcome to Live from the Archives. I'm Nancy Martin, the library archivist. Today I wanted to talk to you about the remarkable scrapbooks that were donated to the archives several years ago by Township resident Ralph Kessler. And I say remarkable scrapbooks because the images within these scrapbooks capture different sites in the township at different points in time, which, taken together, enable us to see the evolution of the area through the years. The scrapbooks include both copies of historical photographs taken in the early 1900s and images taken by Ralph himself during the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. Ralph and his wife Marguerite moved to the township in 1971. The display case on the second floor outside of the reading room for the months of March and April will be of images taken from Ralph's scrapbooks with some complementary images from other collections. So the display is really divided into two sections. The top portion of the display documents the structures that stood at the intersection of McMurray and Valley Brook Road in the early 1920s. And that portion of the display is centered around a photograph of the construction of the McMurray General Store from the early 1920s that was generously shared with me by resident Tom McMurray. The photographs that then surround that central image are of the individual structures that stood at that intersection, which include the McMurray Stables, the Isaac Simpson Blacksmith Shop, the site of which was later home to the McMurray Dairy Bar, the Isaac Simpson House. You can notice the has gas pumps out front, and those are the gas pumps that later became associated also with the dairy bar. We then have the James and Sadie McMurray House, which stood where Lorenzo's Pizza stands today. And finally, the central photo includes an image of the McMurray Grist Mill, which stood at the intersection until it was torn down in 1946. The bottom portion of the display shows the evolution of the site of the McMurray General Store from the early 1920s all the way up until today. So the first photograph is a repeat of the one from the top portion of the display that was shared with me by Tom McMurray, and it shows the construction of the McMurray General Store in the early 1920s. You can see that the foundation has been laid in the photograph. The second image is of the completed McMurray General Store taken in 1922. This is taken from Ralph's scrapbooks, and it's super important that we have it because, as you will see in the next image, the store did not stand for very long. Speaking of which, in the third photograph, it shows the aftermath of the fire that destroyed the McMurray General Store in 1923. If you look kind of to the left of the pit around which all the gentlemen are standing, you'll also see the skeleton of the McMurray Stables, which is all that's left of that structure. The next photo is an image of the McMurray Telephone Company building, which was built on the foundation of the McMurray General Store, which is all that was left of the building following the 1923 fire. And this picture of the telephone building is taken from the Lattimore family papers. The next image is of the same building, painted white, from 1985, at which time it housed a Super Shears hair salon and a Dairy Delight ice cream parlor. And then finally, we come to today with an image taken from Google Earth of an Arrowhead Trail parking lot and stairway access. And that is what currently occupies the site of the former McMurray General Store. The telephone building itself was torn down during the reconstruction of the McMurray Valley Brook intersection during its 1996 to 1997 renovation. Evidence of the evolution of the township over time is only possible because of the donations made to the archives by residents such as Ralph. So a huge thank you to Ralph and all of our other donors for all the materials they have given to us, which enable the archives to create displays. Please join me again in May for a display based around the scrapbooks of Peters Township Parent-Teacher Associations of the past.